Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt Rose.
And I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
Welcome to our reaction and review for the Survivor 48 premiere. That's right, we are back discussing Survivor. We are so unbelievably excited.
Yeah, it's really nice to be back with Survivor. We haven't covered it in a little while here at the channel, and we really missed it. So we are back, and what a cast so far. I'm really excited about this season.
Yeah, I mean, big picture, and of course it's always funny to do big picture after just one episode
know,
of a
right?
season, but I'm coming out of this pretty positive. I find most of the cast to be likable. I mean, yeah, sure, there are some quibbles that we'll get to at some point before this video is over, but we've got everybody from a butt doctor to a pizza man. We've got some good backstories on these people. Jeff Probst, I will give you a little bit of nod and acknowledgement for not shoving too many twists into the premiere. There were some. But you have not gone completely crazy in love with your own ideas yet. You're allowing us to have like real legitimate moments. So a preemptive thank you.
Oh, we'll see if you end up eating that later.
See, I'm trying to just put good vibes out into the universe here.
It's all good vibes. It's Pisces season, guys. It's all good vibes.
It's better than Libra season where you just want to watch me be indecisive and cry. That's coming up a little bit later this fall.
Where you live on a fence of your own making.
Listen, with Survivor in particular, it is very easy to do that because you want to sort of see and understand all sides of different moves. And there will be some of that probably even debated in this video when it comes to the person who was voted off. But we will get into that and a whole lot more. But before we do, be sure to hit that subscribe button because, yes, we will be here throughout all of Survivor 48. This is also a very busy reality TV season for us, surprisingly, where The Traitors is starting to wind down, but it's still ongoing. We're in the midst of Love is Blind on Netflix, and coming up very, very soon, we are returning to The Amazing Race, a show that we also really, really love.
Yeah, there is a lot going on here at the channel, so hit that subscribe button. Also, we are almost at 70,000.
Yes.
Which is really exciting for us. It is my birthday on Friday.
Happy birthday.
I am turning 50 years old, Pisces season. So if you want to like help us get to that 70,000, hit that subscribe button and help us out. Also, if you want to support us further, you can join our Patreon. We have a link for you below. We are covering 2 shows over there right now exclusively with weekly reviews. And that is The Pit, that is airing over on Max, as well as Prime Target, which is airing on Apple TV. You can also get more Survivor coverage over there. So thank you so much to everyone who has joined.
Thank you. We really, really appreciate that. Okay, from the start here, I want people out there to kind of know where our hearts lie, how we are feeling about people. So who are your favorite person and or people coming out of this episode?
Okay, I have 3.
Okay, 3. All right, let's hear it.
Yes. Okay, so I really love Eva a lot. I love her a lot. And it's because I feel really connected to her. When she was saying that she's very direct with people and she expects other people to be very direct with her and not lie to her. Girl, same. I really expect people to be direct with me, and when they are not direct with me, I have a really hard time with it. I'm someone who works really well based on information, and if I don't have that information, or someone is hiding or misdirecting me or lying to me on that information, I just don't really know how to process that. It doesn't make any sense to me. Let's just get it out. It doesn't matter if the truth is bad or good or in the middle. We're gonna figure it out. Like, it'll be fine. There's nothing you can't tell me that we aren't gonna be able to like figure it out. So me, I really feel connected with her in that way. And then the next 2 that I'm completely, listen, if I can have 2 winners, it's Camilla and Kyle, Team Guyana. Listen, I am also Guyanese. When they were having that conversation where they're like, oh, I really love holes. Oh, I really love holes. Oh, I love The Departed. Oh my God, I love The Departed. When they were like, I'm Guyanese, I'm Guyanese, I literally was like, me too. My mom was born in Guyana, in Georgetown, and they're absolutely right. When they say that it's a small place and it's kind of like when you meet other people who are like, I'm Guyanese, it's like you've met family in this culture, in my culture, that it's so unique to run across anybody else who's Guyanese, and especially out here, we're out in California. The Caribbean culture is me. There isn't anybody else out here. So let alone running into or seeing other Guyanese people, it never happens for me. So I love them. 2 winners this season. That's the twist that's coming in.
All right, let us know in the comments how you feel about Jess's 2-winner twist. No, one of the fun things that I always enjoy doing watching these shows is trying to like play the metagame in my head. It's like, okay, who are people who I think Jess is gonna root for? And the moment they said Guyana, I was like, okay, it's a wrap.
I can't
Let's all pack it up.
Let's go, Team Guyana.
It was like earlier in the episode when Kevin was doing like his Yul Kwan fan worship, and I was thinking, it's like, okay,
I love him too.
Jess is like the leader of the Yul bandwagon.
I love Yul. I love Kevin too. He's great.
Yeah, okay. When it comes to my favorites, I will gladly share Eva with you. So I have no problem doing that because I also really, really love her. And I understand how difficult it can be to talk about, personal vulnerabilities and stuff like that. Like I'm legally blind. I don't like to bring it up all the time, but it's a little bit different than Eva's situation where it's on my face and people can kind of directly see it. So I'm forced to address it a little bit, but I understand the idea of you don't want to lead with that conversation all the time because people can have judgments. But this brings me to Joe, who I can't describe how much I ended up loving him versus what my kind of pre-show expectation is. I'm finding, and you guys can let me know how you feel about this, but like as I get older, I kind of shift a little bit more and more away from the game bots and the strategists and like some people who are in that archetype. Like, don't get me wrong. Like I still love strategy and I like talking about strategy, but I've never been the sort of person who just wants everybody to come out there and play the same exact game and like talk about the same strategy. Like the show's just not fun when that is the case. And I do have this really weird history of loving Survivor Firemen. It like goes all the way back to Tom Westman, like way, way, way long ago. But then Jeremy Collins, I also really love Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy's great.
And now here we are with Joe. I just found his discussion with Eva where Eva's opening up to him and his response to it. I thought that was so tender, so emotional, even him in the confessional. There's just something about him that's going to be really, really endearing, and I really, really like him. Now, does this mean I think he's going to win? It feels like it's going to be hard because I think people who lead with their heart, and he feels very much like a loyalty guy. I don't know how willing he's going to be to want to play the dirty game and throw a lot of people under the bus. And I don't know if it's going to be easy to hide how close he and Eva are, but I just really, really like him as a person.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's not going to be able to beat Kyle and Camilla, and they're going to have a dual win at the end. But no, he is really great.
Yeah.
And to what you said about, strategy and game bots, I feel that way as well. Like, I enjoy strategy a lot in games and stuff like that, but I have found that as I have been entering my old lady era, that I am just looking for people on reality TV that I can either connect with or I just feel like are really genuine, like Carolyn from a few seasons back. She's on Traitors right now, sort of was.
No, you just gotta put that out there. We haven't even gotten to a blindside on the show. I've just been blindsided in this video.
Myself. I just really love genuine people where it feels like they're authentically themselves. We're in an era of just kind of life right now where there's lots of just bots online and influencers or people that are interested in followers on reality shows. It's hard to really kind of like weed through that to get to the Carolyns or the Kyles, Camillas, Evas, Joes, right? So I'm finding myself really enjoying people who are just really genuine.
Okay, for my third person, this is a special category that I want to almost call it the Coach in Memoriam Award, because I think this show needs people who you may not necessarily like in terms of, do I want to hang out with this person versus do I want them to stay on the show because I think they're going to annoy everybody and be extremely entertaining. Like we had this with Q not that long ago. I mean, I ended up really liking Q, but Stuntman David, he is going to annoy everyone by the end of this season, and it is going to be so funny. I'm already, there's only one episode in, I'm already working on the David impression, everybody, where it's just sort of like, if I'd have gone, I would have won everything. And he was like talking about that. By the end of the season, he's going to be like, if I was Jeff Probst, I would vote everybody off the island. I would be the final three all by myself. He's just like, this guy thinks he is the greatest player of all time, the most muscly, tender-hearted. I love Notting Hill. Why doesn't anybody else like Notting Hill? I don't even think this is an impression of him anymore. It's just like, he is completely out of his mind, and he is going to drive everyone crazy.
He feels like he's doing a bit. That whole Notting Hill thing just didn't feel genuine to me. And it may be genuine, and this may be who he is. But I've only got to see him like such a tiny amount of time, but it just felt like a bit.
I think episode 2, he's going to start singing Billie Eilish, and then people are going to walk in. He's like, see, I'm not just a muscly guy. I love Billie Eilish.
And that's the bit. That's what it feels like to be like, don't judge me by my muscles. I'm a sensitive guy. I love this. I love that. I was like, okay.
I ironically enjoy him. I don't think anyone in the fandom is going to be rooting for him, but I ironically want him to stay because I just want drama.
This feels like when I was just like Team Bruce and I was on an island by myself. I still absolutely loved watching him.
There's going to be a small bridge between Bruce Island and Stuntman David Island, but okay. We'll get into the strategy now a little bit. We'll talk about things kind of tribe by tribe. So Vula, who is the Green Tribe, they received the vast majority of the airtime in this episode. And I mean, understandably so. And we end up losing Stephanie in this first episode. Obviously, stinks to be the first person that goes out. But despite whatever sort of edit the show tried to give us, I don't think this was that complicated of a vote out. I think it was kind of the product of just two different things. One, she didn't open up and play hard enough at the start of the season, and then she didn't do well on the puzzle, and nobody really had that much of a reason to keep her.
That's the kind of the problem at the beginning of any reality show where you're voting people out. It's just kind of like the Wes Bergman game of not me, anybody but me, as long as it's not me sort of thing. And you don't have a lot to go on at the very beginning. So anything is something, right? And it's, you know, she was felt responsible for the puzzle. She put responsibility on herself, which I was surprised that she did game-wise. Personal-wise, I understand why she was like, you know what? I'm going to take responsibility for my part in that, and they'll respect that. And I think it's like, yeah, they respect it, but you've given a reason, and somebody has to go, so it'll be you.
Yeah, and this gets into the first interesting debate that's going on here, and that was this really the right move? Because we had two different possibilities here. We had Stephanie, who, like you said, there was plenty of reasons to just go ahead, get rid of her. It's the quote unquote easy vote at this point. If she can't do a puzzle after volunteering to do the puzzle, what use is she going to be moving forward?
Right.
Then there is the say conversation that we have to have here, where she is coming in and playing really hard.
She's playing the game of like 10 people.
Yes. In my opinion, she's playing it too hard. Like, I'm just going to say it right now. Like, I appreciate how much she cares.
It's great TV.
It's great TV. It's sort of like, this does not mean she will lose, because I spent almost all of Kagayan saying that Tony was not going to win that season because he played like this from the start. So she can win, but it's a really risky way to play this hard. And you could give her a little bit of credit for being like, okay, you're using other people's help to find this idol. But at the same time, she kind of even admitted this. She would have had a really hard time doing it by herself. Like, she was really, really struggling with it. So it still really was for her own benefit. So you're these other people in the tribe now, who a lot of them seem to know at this point, maybe not necessarily all of them, but we kind of have this sort of possible 4-person group of, say, Kevin, Cedric, and Justin, who they all kind of know that she's pretty dangerous. Do you want to keep somebody in the game who is this dangerous? Because one, there's the idol part of it, but two, if she's this competitive, isn't she going to be willing to turn on you at some point?
Yeah, I mean, there was a little bit of talk in this edit about maybe getting rid of her from her own alliance, but she has a really strong alliance who was going to vote with her. She does have this idol now. She did work with the group to be able to get the idol. She also, I loved this, where she was just kind of put it out there that maybe playing a shot in the dark might be the way to go for Stephanie. I was just like, she's playing hard, but she's not necessarily playing wrong. Like, she has been able to maneuver a lot of stuff in like one tribal council where she's got a good alliance. She's already been able to open up this idol, and she's got an idol. She's able to plant things into her competitors' heads, which basically takes themselves out at that point.
Yeah.
She's playing a decent game. She seems to be, at this point, really one of the major people who are playing the game.
Yeah, I think that they made the right move. Like, I would have had the conversation. I would have at least entertained what to do in this scenario, but you do have an alliance. Breaking an alliance early is a big risk, especially in the event that she did end up playing an idol. You might have ended up causing like this huge tribal chaos right at the start.
I understand that it's a risk to go forward with someone who is playing this hard, who is in control of a lot of stuff right now, but it is early.
Yeah.
If they want to deal with her later, they can deal with her later. Now is definitely not the time. She's going to be a big target, and she is keeping the group together, and she is being loyal to the group right now. There is no reason for this group to break apart at this point.
Yeah, I hate to say it because I know it's kind of boring to say it, but in these seasons where they are having 6-person tribes, you really need people who can do well at the challenges because your numbers will dwindle really, really fast. And then guess what? Then you're going to be voted out just because the numbers aren't there anymore.
That's right.
From what we've seen, Say is a better competitor, at least, than what we saw from Stephanie.
Right.
So with this tribe in general, there's a few things that I found enjoyable that are just well worth pointing out.
Okay.
How many pizza references does Justin the Pizza Man make in this episode? Like, in between him and Justin from Big Brother Over the Top, who famously had the pizza song, people named Justin on reality TV apparently love pizza.
Yeah, there's also McRae, had the same long hair, pizza guy. Like, it feels like it's the same pizza person over and over and over again.
It is really funny. Like, I kind of like Justin, but I need him to stop talking about pizza. You already have the shirt on. I've already heard you in the confessional.
And I already feel like I've seen this character before.
Yeah. It only took one episode for the line, "There's something about Mary," to come up on this show, which I very much appreciated. Also, I'm going to throw this out here about what they've done with the idol this season. I know not everybody really likes you have to do this, and then you have to set this box on fire, and then you have to go juggle 800 things in front of Jeff Probst, and then you do all this in order to get the idol. But I kind of liked how it worked this time around. You had like the little animal symbols that were popping up elsewhere. And here's the weirdest thing. They had a dolphin. They had like a bird. Some of them looked almost identical, for all you gamers out there.
I know where you're going
when
with
you
this.
were doing the dungeons in Skyrim and you have these puzzles and you have to match the dolphin and the bird.
Yeah, you have to turn the rock around.
Yeah, it was like somebody clearly played Skyrim on the Survivor Clue and was just like, hey, we're going to do a variation on that idea. And you know what? I'm really not mad about it.
Yeah.
With that, though, let's go over to the Siva tribe, who is the orange tribe. And it's a perfect segue because they have the funny situation where they found some of the symbols and they haven't found the clues yet. And I just want to ask you this, stuntman David. I thought you were going to be like, I can find all the idols without any clues. That's not any problem for me. It's like, why haven't you found the idol yet, dude, if you think you're this good?
Yeah, I mean, and sharing that information as quickly as he did,
I know.
I was just like, why are you doing it? But then at the same time,
Yeah.
when I was watching Say go around looking for everything, all of that stuff is obviously all over the place.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's going to figure it out anyways. But just the same,
Yeah.
sharing information, you got to be a little smarter about that.
Well, that's the thing. And, there were even confessionals about like, oh, I don't know if I would do this if I found this information out there. And I understand where David is coming from, I guess, through the lens of, I already know, and I'm not even going to do David voice here. I'm just saying, I already know
How
that
dare you?
I already know that I am an extremely big, strong guy. I'm probably a big threat. I do need to show my fellow contestants that I'm more than that, beyond just saying I like Notting Hill. I have to figure out something else. So I think he's trying to show some element of value to everyone else. But the irony in all of this is that somebody may figure out all of this before him. They may find the idol and they may not even tell him that they have the idol. And then that's a problem for him.
Or you just share it with people that you wish to build a better relationship with.
Yeah, like you've got a lot of options that are not doing what it is that he did.
Yeah, you don't need to just stand up on the beach and be like, hey, everybody.
Yeah, like this is going to be an interesting tribe because I will admit that out of all the ones we've seen at this point, this is the one I have the least handle on in terms of like the dynamics, who's really running the show. It seems like we kind of have something going with like Chrissy's the fire lieutenant,
Mm-hmm.
stuntman Dave, and then of
Mm-hmm.
course your 2-person winning team of
Team
Kyle
Diana.
and get Camilla, like
Yep.
that they're all kind of sort of together. And I'll give Camilla a little bit of credit because it seems like
Mm-hmm.
she's already trying to paint a target on Charity, and she's
Yep.
doing it in a really subtle, interesting way where she's not just like getting a megaphone and being like, hey, everyone. She's making sure that's kind of out there for when the moment does arrive.
Absolutely. She's doing it nice, subtle, planting the seeds for when the time is going to come because she was a little bit worried that it might
Yeah.
be Kyle. She's going to try to redirect that somewhere else, and she's doing it exactly the right way.
Yeah, and I'll say I do like Mitch too. We got a little bit of a moment with Mitch at the start where he's talking about his
Yeah.
speech impediment and overcoming that. And it's nice to see him out there playing the game. I did not expect, a Christy from Survivor Amazon reference in the year 2025. So this show always entertains me when they actually remind us that they were seasons that aired that were not the original season or anything before season 15. It's like there's other stuff that actually went on at some point in there.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we have the Purple Tribe, the Lagi Tribe, or
Yes.
I am probably going to pronounce tribe names incorrectly at some point early
You
this
know what?
season.
It's okay. We're all friends here. I am also going to do that. Other people, it's all going to be fine. Feel free to correct us in the comments if we're doing that. It'll be
Yeah.
all right.
It's sort of like, I think his name is Shaden on this
Mhm.
tribe, but that's the name I'm going to have the most problem with right now. But I will say that he's got an alliance going on now. This is the dude alliance that surprised even Thomas, one of the dudes in it. And you have him, you have Thomas, and then you have Fire Captain Joe, who's obviously going to try to bring Eva along for the ride. They named this alliance California Girls.
Love it.
I have to tell you guys, because Thomas is a music producer and he said that on the show, I went down this weird rabbit hole where I was trying to figure out if he had worked with Katy Perry or something. And like this was some sort of like weird code for that. Kind of like when Mike White, by the way, we're covering the White Lotus here, but when Mike White and all these like School of Rock references were coming out of his season, I cannot find any direct Katy Perry connection. So Thomas, if you're working with Katy Perry, let us know in the comments.
Or maybe he's shooting his shot.
I like this Purple Tribe a lot. It seems like we've got a lot of really interesting personalities on there. I mean, even beyond just everything we said about Eva, I like her being a hockey player who plays with some of the guys. Like she's probably going to be one of these underrated physical forces to be reckoned with this season.
Yeah.
I like all three of the tribes. Like this is all what the show I think is doing a good job at so far and not really overdoing the twist. Like I guess the biggest twist that they have that we haven't really talked about yet was this. So Kevin, who hurt his shoulder on the Green Tribe, and they did not end up winning the first challenge.
Right.
And then Kyle on Siva the Orange Tribe, they end up having to compete in this solo challenge, which was interesting and different, where one of them would be able to bring some supplies back to their camp.
Yeah, I loved this. And I think the reason I loved it and why Kyle just became this, even before I knew that he was Guyanese, he just became this person that I just loved immediately.
Yeah.
While they're doing this challenge, he breaks his own jar and he's like, well, I guess I'm out.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna help Kevin. He hurt his shoulder. Why wouldn't I help him out? It's great strategically if they both make it to the merge and that they can remember that they had this moment together and that works out. But it didn't feel like it was really about that. It felt like it was about just kind of helping someone else out, community, hey, I know that you hurt yourself. I'm out anyways. Let's do this together. It was so good. What a great way to start off this season.
Yeah, it was instantly endearing because it told me not only that Kyle might be thinking about the game, he might be thinking strategically, but like you said, it didn't come across that way.
Yeah.
But it also felt fully in line with the fake job that he has created for himself out there, where he is a teacher. And I'm never going to blame anybody who is a lawyer who goes on a show and doesn't want to act like they're a lawyer because you're good at arguing. Like, I get that.
Understand.
Yeah, but it's just like, this is something that I think you would believe a teacher would want to do. You would help somebody in need, make them feel better. I think it will potentially pay dividends, especially because Kevin doesn't seem like the sort of person who's going to be like, I'm going to put on my own tinfoil hat here. And I think you're trying to game me and I am Yul Kwan. I must be the most strategic person out here. You're gone.
Go, Yul.
I don't think that is what is going on here.
Yeah.
Okay, now that we are so far into this, we've said a lot of really nice things about these 2 hours.
Uh-oh.
It's time to get into the criticism.
All right, it's time to drag something. Let's put on our beef
All
hat.
right.
What are you having a beef with?
Okay. There's some things on Survivor this modern day that I have come to live with because I have no other choice. Like, they're not going to go back to 39-day seasons again. Like, Probst has already said all of this in the midst of this season 50, whatever the fans want cop-out idea that they have come up with, that like, no, we're not going back to 30. I will complain about that up until season 50. And if it turns out to be the greatest season ever, I will eat all of my words.
That's fine. We have our hard hats on for that. You can complain about it as much
It's
as you
just
wish.
silly. Believe in yourselves. But no, I really have come to accept that they're not going to have 39 days. I've come to accept that we're not going to be going to a million locations anymore just because it's not a cost-effective thing. And, we're in this TV economy now. But I'm still frustrated about the lack of, season themes, because if you told me to sit down right now and tell you 4 things about Survivor, I don't know, 42, they all blend together now because you're not giving them any sort of unique names. That still bothers me.
Yeah.
The other part of it, Probst. Stop acting like getting on this show is like getting a golden ticket to Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory. I do not need audition tapes at the start of these episodes. I do not need people on screen talking about, oh, this is my dream. This is my Survivor story. And I'm just, it's sort of like showing versus telling. You're already on Survivor. I can assume that if you were willing to get all the medical stuff needed to go out there, to go through the months of applications, I can assume that this is probably your dream. You do not need to tell me that this is your dream.
Yeah, it just feels like they really want to recruit new people and different types of people, that it feels more like they're just pushing the agenda of, see how excited these people are, see how many times this person applied, now their dream is coming true. That could be you. And I'm just kind of like, I don't think you guys actually need to push this. Do you? Like, there's always going to be people that are going to want to be on Survivor. The show is iconic. It's been on forever. Everybody wants to get on there and shoot their shot, meet Jeff, be on the beach, all the cool stuff, have your torch, never sniffed out, that you're able to actually win, right? Like, everybody who wants to be on the show is going to apply for the show. I don't think having people being like, oh, this has been my lifelong dream. I've wanted to do this for 20 years, whatever it is going to inspire somebody on the couch to be like, you know what? Stranger on the beach I've met for 5 seconds. Me too.
I just get this sense sometimes, and I know this makes me sound like I'm being a total hater, and whatever, that's fine, because I love the bones of Survivor. I will always love what it is, but I think Probst is pushing a little bit too hard now. We have to make this show more for younger viewers because we're trying to make everything really happy. We're talking about dreams coming true and all of this.
And also probably for advertisers, because they always want to advertise to younger people. But us older people, me and my old lady era, I spend money too.
Yeah,
and I watch Survivor.
It's just like the things that really sell Survivor, I think, in a big mainstream way. It's not this. It is the iconic moments that happen with the characters, with the people, when you allow them to get a little bit messy. Like, Johnny Fairplay acting like his grandmother is dead. I don't think that really matches the family-friendly tone. And by the way, actual rest in peace to Fairplay's grandmother, who actually did pass away recently. But even just like not that long ago, we see people yelling about Applebee's. Same thing. Does not really apply to what they're pushing. I just think this show works at its best when they take the meta narratives sort of out of it. We're not talking about auditions. We're not talking about the show itself. It's like twists. It's better when you just put confidence in the people. And we have a really, I think, solid group of 18 people right now.
Yeah, they just need to trust the cast and trust the casting process, that you're able to get the right people on there.
Yeah.
I agree. Seeing oh my God, I'm on Survivor takes me out of it. One of the things that I really like about watching Survivor, besides the strategy and just the genuine people on it, is I feel like I'm being whisked away to an island.
Yes.
Right? Like watching somebody in their living room learn about it. It's not what I'm here for. I want to just be fully immersed into this experience.
Yeah, it's about the adventure. And I know that at the end of this premiere, some people may just be feeling a little bit ho-hum because the vote out wasn't altogether exciting. But I do think this is going to be a pretty good season. There's already a lot of buzz, that we might be seeing a lot of interesting alliances. There may be some blind sides. It feels like there's a lot of hype. That may just be Probst being Probst, but I want to believe in you because it didn't feel like there was that much hype going into last season, which was kind of just okay.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like they've done a good job hyping up this season. It feels like the cast is going to bring us a lot of good strategy and also a lot of emotional moments. I think this is going to be well balanced.
All right, well, at this point, let us know, who are you rooting for on Survivor 48? Do you think the Vula Green Tribe made the right move in the premiere? Let us know. Also, hit that subscribe button. It is Jess's 50th birthday coming up this Friday. Help us get to 70,000, and you can support us further by joining our Patreon. That link is in the description below. We're covering The Pit on Max, Prime Target on Apple TV+. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you here next time.